So Charles Lee Toliver went missing or was last seen on February 4th, 2000 in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. He is a white male. He was 30 years old at the time he went missing. He would be 55 years old today, or as of 2025. At the time he went missing, he was 5'8", 140 pounds, with red hair and blue eyes. Said he may have had a mustache, beard, or goatee. He has a scar on the upper part of one of his legs. His ears are pierced. He has a dragon tattoo on one of his ankles and an additional tattoo on one of his shoulders. And his nickname is Charlie. So Charlie was last seen in Oak Ridge, Tennessee on February 4th, 2000. After that, he's never been seen or heard from again. Prior to his disappearance, Charlie lived with Ernie. Now, this is a lot to unpack. There's a lot of houses being bought and sold and living arrangements in this. So prior to his disappearance, Charlie lived with Ernie Lee Tony Luhelier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. I apologize if I'm not. The men purchased 3 houses in the 1800 block of Glenwood Avenue in Knoxville, Tennessee. They lived in one house and bought 2 houses across the street. So they lived in one of the houses they bought, and the other 2 were across the street. They had planned to fix up those houses and sell them at a profit, but they never actually did so. Eventually, this Ernie Lee Luhelier moved out of the house that he shared with Charlie and into one of the houses that they owned across the street. He quit-claimed his interest in the old house, which is, I'm assuming, the one that they were living in together, to Charlie, who then sold it to Edward J. McGimsey for $45,000. Charlie then moved in with McGimsey in Clinton, Tennessee in late 1999. But when he renewed his driver's license in 2000, he gave his address as this Ernie Lee Luhelier's residence. Charlie's parents went to Clinton to check on him on February 6th of 2000 after Luhelier told them that Charlie had been in a violent argument with this McGimsey fella, Edward McGimsey, that had left holes in the wall and bloodstains. But when they arrived at McGimsey's residence, Charlie's parents found no holes in the wall. There was no bloodstains, no other signs of a fight. But there was no indication of Charlie's whereabouts, however, and he left all of his clothes and belongings behind except for his dog. This McGimsey fella, who Charlie was last known to be living with, said that Charlie had left on February 4th to go see friends in Atlanta, Georgia. He said that he had dropped Charlie off at the first rest area on Interstate 75 at the Tennessee-Georgia border, and that his friends from Atlanta were supposed to pick him up there. Charlie was allegedly carrying around $200 in cash. After another 2 weeks passed and his parents did not hear from him, they reported him missing. About a month after Charlie was reported missing, this Luhelier brought his mail to his parents, brought Charlie's mail to Charlie's parents. Some of the letters were addressed to Charlie at the Luhelier's home address. Some of them were returned mail bearing address forwarding labels to places where his parents say Charlie had never lived. 2 of the towns listed on the address forwarding labels were towns where Luhelier had allegedly lived before, however. So this Luhelier fellow was convicted of burglary and statutory SA in Missouri after Charlie's disappearance and sent to prison. His victim was a teenage girl. He was required to register as an SO upon his release, but he never did. His current whereabouts are unknown. And the other fellow, McGimsey, it says that he lives in Tennessee. Charlie's only income at the time of his disappearance was his just a little bit over $500 monthly disability check. He had previously spent time in prison for theft. His family has accused the police of not properly investigating his disappearance, suggesting they were prejudiced because of Charley's prison record and his homosexuality, and his case remains unsolved. So if you have any information regarding Charley's case, you can call the Anderson County Sheriff's Department at 885-463-6884 or 885-457-2414.
There are more than 100 missing people in the state of Tennessee. Many of those cases date back decades.
But as the years tick by, many families still hold out hope. And that includes the mother of Charley Toliver, who's been missing for 17 years.
10 News reporter Leslie Ackerson has more on his mysterious case in tonight's Appalachian Unsolved.
My love for you is deeper than the sea. No words can express what you mean to me.
They say a mother's love for her child is like nothing else in the world.
You signed it, Charley, and put a smiley face. P.S. I love you, Mom.
And anything from her son is a treasure to Constance Toliver.
That was my favorite. This he made when he was in school. In kindergarten, he said, Mama, I broke the tail off carrying it home. This is Charley when he was a baby.
These items are now all she has left of him.
It was 17 years in February. That was the last time I talked to him. It was on Friday, February the 4th.
An adventurous spirit, Charley Toliver was a wanderer.
And the next thing you know, he would be calling us from Florida. He didn't stay gone. He'd always come back.
This time was different. In February of 2000, the Tolivers received a phone call from one of Charley's friends saying he was in danger. They went to the 30-year-old's home in Anderson County in search of him, but found nothing.
I think that one or multiple persons have done something very evil.
What followed was weeks of conflicting stories, mysterious phone calls, and different addresses.
Where Charley was at the time he disappeared, and this trailer had burned to the ground just months after Charley disappeared. Now, that throws up huge red flags right there.
Detectives never found a solid answer.
My mind was still on a roller coaster.
Constance keeps in contact with the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Group, or NAMUS, for any signs of Charley. She also keeps up a Facebook page.
Because I remember him every day. I remember him and think about him every day. And I say, how many days has it been? This goes through my mind, and you're not going to forget it. No parent would forget.
Each day without him doesn't go unnoticed. She says the not knowing is the hardest.
At the end of the day, you still have this heartbreak inside. It's a horrible place to live in your mind and in your heart. It's a horrible place to live.
Deep down, she wishes the red-haired, blue-eyed boy will walk through her doors again one day.
I do hope in my heart, and I know this is what my husband hopes, that Charley is out there somewhere living his life.
Holding on to hope and the things she has left.
In your arms, I would fall asleep.
Leslie Ackerson, WBIR 10 News.
This is a dream. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
If you have any information about this case or any other, you can contact the NAMUS National Group or the Anderson County Sheriff's Department at the number on your screen. Even the smallest tip could bring this family some closure.